Hey guys, this is Mark Goldberg with another exciting episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this video, let's go ahead and get the obligatory fist watch check out of the way. And here it is. Today, of course, I am wearing the object in question. It is the Rolex. It is the Submariner. It is gold. 203 or 4 grams of 18 karat yellow gold with a beautiful blue dynamic dial and blue ceramic bezel. Okay guys, I want to talk to you briefly about the wearing experience of this thing, and I think I'm going to focus on two aspects of that. The first is, can it be a daily? And the second is, should you put stickers on this watch? Okay, so as far as a daily goes, I think that's going to depend entirely on what you do for a living. Now, behind me, you're seeing my dog kennel. As you may know from prior experience with me, I am a dog trainer. And so, I'm in and out of like metal things, crates and collars and just different things that may cause me to scratch a watch, right? So I think if I was in a boardroom all day long, if I was a high-powered business executive, if I didn't work a little bit, out in nature with my hands, you could get away with wearing gold on the daily, okay? So if you were an author and you were, constantly tickling the keyboards, or I don't know, if you just had some kind of a high-powered job where you wore a suit all day long, I think you could do it. But me, no, this is a little bit more my, dressing up fancy and going out watch. We're going dancing, So look, I put stickers on this watch. I'm not ashamed. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see them on camera there. But I'll tell you what, guys, I will drop a macro picture and right here where you'll be able to just see the edge of a sticker. Well, we zoom in real close like this and you can certainly see the edges of the sticker, but I promise you, nobody has really ever noticed this while I was walking around or even showing them the watch. So, look, stickers. What I discovered before I put those on was just the slipping on, the cuff moving, that kind of like cuff movement on the watch was starting to leave little tiny hairline marks on the polished center links or the PCLs. And I thought about it and I realized, okay, yes, I could take a Cape Cod cloth to gold, but I just wasn't so comfortable with the idea of doing that. It was a lot easier to put stickers on and to see if I disliked that rather than wait for scratches and see how much I was going to dislike that. Because I was pretty sure that, that the normal wear and tear that you would put on a steel watch would be like 10 times worse on this guy here. And look, it's so pretty and shiny. And you really can barely tell it, but on every high polished surface, from the flank on both sides, the entire clasp, even the little tiny flip open piece, and all the polished center links are protected by stickers. Now, I got those stickers from a company called EsquireLife.com. I will throw a link to that in the description of this video. Super easy to do. You just want to use like plastic tweezers. You just like dip these guys into water, and they're sized specifically for this watch. So you pick off a piece, dip it in water. It doesn't feel sticky at all. It'll slide around until you get it just exactly located where you want, and then you just put some pressure on it with your finger, and that is it. 24 hours later, it is solid and it's not really going anywhere. So the stickers are a little bit on the thick side. They're certainly thicker than like authorized dealer stickers, but they're super clear. And so you're not aware of them. Actually, I have to like put my face right here before I can see a sticker. And I think I would be a heck of a lot more aware of major scratches than I would be stickers on this guy right here. Now, I fully expect that you guys are going to give me a hard time in the comments telling me that I have put slip covers on my couch. And okay, that's fair. You can say that. I think you are far more entitled to say that, sir, if you have a gold watch of your own and you wear it every day and you don't mind gouging it and scratching it. But if you're an armchair warrior, wearing a steel wristwatch, I don't know if you're in the know, buddy. And I'm going to tell you the reason that I say that is literally cuff marks were leaving like little hairline scratches on this thing. Now, that being said, do I recommend that you run out and buy a gold watch? I got really mixed feelings on that. The whole point of this watch for me is, or let's say about 75% of the point, to be fair, is that dynamic colored dial, the blue dial, along with the blue bezel. When it hits the light, it's just absolutely spectacular. It's mesmerizing. So let me just drop a couple of pictures in right here of what this puppy looks like in the sunlight. This is actually an indoor picture just with good lighting. Gosh, that dial just really shows itself off. And of course, this is also an indoor photograph here with the Christmas tree, but you still get a good look at what light does to this dial. And finally, outside, this is what happens in bright sunlight. It's just incredible. And you can get this on the two-tone as well. So now that you've seen that, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is you get the same dial and the same bezel, more or less, on the two-tone bluesy version. Now this is the 40 millimeter version of the Submariner, not the new 41. This guy here was just discontinued at the end of 2020, and the new watch came in, I don't know, like what was it, November? But to the eye, I'm telling you, you would barely be able to tell them apart. So for all intents and purposes, I'm speaking about all the ceramic, gold, and two-tone bluesies. The two-tone has steel on these outer links and steel in places where I feel like the watch is the most vulnerable. But at the same time, you still get that beautiful dynamic dial. Now, why does the dial glow? Why does the dial change so much in the light? Well, because Rolex mixes gold dust right into the blue paint with which they paint these dials. So when the light hits it, you get a shimmering starburst, sunburst effect that really just is absolutely incredible. They do the exact same thing on the Hulk. So that's in green. And let me show you what the Hulk dial looks like right here. Nobody does a sunburst dial any better than Rolex. What's the secret? Gold dust mixed right into the paint. So one of these days when it's sunny out, I will take pictures of both the gold blue and the Hulk green. I'll put them together and I'll make you a whole video kind of comparing and contrasting those. I think that Rolex just does sunburst dials amazingly. It just a beautiful thing. So guys, I think the bluesy is probably the smarter buy versus the full gold. It's less than half of the cost, and you still get that incredible blue dial and you still get some gold for flash. Now, there are people who hate on this watch and who hate on the bluesy, and I understand it. If it's not your cup of tea, no worries. I completely comprehend. In some circles, this watch, the gold one, is called the landlord watch. People think that it's just a bit too flashy. Personally, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's more classy than it is flashy. But your mileage may vary. You're certainly entitled to have an alternate opinion there. If you wanted to go for absolute stealth wealth, which is not, it's a watch that is very expensive but flies under the radar, then you would get the white gold version of this. And in the prior edition, the white gold version had a blue lacquer finish dial and a blue bezel. And in the current iteration, the white gold just has a black dial and a blue bezel. So, man, you're talking about $40,000 worth of watch that looks like it's made out of stainless steel. So it's definitely, certainly stealthy, wealthy, in that sense. Whereas this kind of does definitely say, hey, I'm gold. Now the bluesy, well, a lot of people say, oh gosh, that's the used car salesman's watch. I don't know why they have such a bad reputation. And I think that has to be changing now. The authorized dealer is telling me that they just can hardly keep gold in stock, that since steel has become impossible to get, people are hedging their bets and buying steel. By the way, thank you to Brian at James & Sons in Orland Park for selling me this beautiful watch out of the authorized dealer. These are good guys to deal with, so if you want to know my buying experience, all I can tell you is it was terrific. You might give them a call and see if they can help you. Can't swear that they will, but look what they had on their shelf for me. And also the steel stuff is getting so impossible to find that the two-tone is getting a little bit easier. And I think that there are some Rolex buyers are just buying two-tone because the steel was not available. But I think once you get used to seeing that flash of gold and that incredible blue dial, you won't be sorry. I don't feel like it's a used salesman's watch. I think it's tasteful, and I also believe that the two-tone will dress up or dress down a little bit easier, whereas this guy kind of stands out, right? Now, I'm going to leave you with this thought. I had a client come over here one day and he dropped off his dog. He was an older gentleman, well into his 70s. And speaking of 70s, he was wearing a 1977 edition yellow gold Rolex day date. and it looked well loved. It looked like it had been worn every day for 1977, which he said it had other than service. He hadn't had it polished, but he kept it in very immaculate condition. Over time, his gold had developed a patina, and it sort of changed the finish a little bit from the high polish that it originally was, not quite to a matte finish, but somewhere in between high polish and matte. And the gold had developed over time a warmth that you just don't see on new gold. It's not like getting patina on a bronze watch. You know, you don't get that, crusty, corrosion looking cool patina if you like that sort of thing, but you get a mellowing of the gold. And I assume that you could probably polish that up if you wanted to, but I don't think that's the best idea. I think watches that show their age have a certain charm, just like gentlemen who show their age. Guys, please throw a like on this video. I really appreciate it. If you don't subscribe to my channel, I will thank you in advance for doing that so we can do this again. Soon I will compare this with the Hulk and make a whole new video. Join me in the next one. This is Goldberg. Peace out.